Hello and welcome back to another episode of TEW 2020 WWE here. We are back with our first pay-per-views post Wrestlemania 37, NXT Takeover in Your House and Backlash. Starting here with NXT Takeover in Your House, and we begin the show just a little promo video just running down the match card one final time. The Cruiserweight tag team titles on the line between the MVPs and the Swords of Essex. Keith Lee defending his NXT North American title against Cameron Grimes. Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream, where the winner will become the number one contender to the NXT Championship. The WWE Women Tag Team titles are on the line. The Sky Pirates defending against Dakota and Raquel Gonzalez. Mickie James defends the title she claims is the one true NXT Women's title against Natalya. Mysterio and El Hijo del Fantasma go one-on-one to crown a new Cruiserweight champion, and in the main event, Kross defends his NXT Championship against Angel Gaza for the 69. Everyone coming out doing pretty well here, I would say. And then match-wise, starting off how a lot of NXT takeovers tend to start with fast-paced tag team action, and you're going to get that in this Cruiserweight tag team title match between the MVPs and the Swords of Essex. And in the end, it is the Swords of Essex who come out on top to become the inaugural WWE Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions, with Ospreay pinning Ricochet after using the Hidden Blade. 66 for the segment. Performance-wise, 63 for Cedric, 59 for Will, 55 for Ricochet, 45 from Scotty. Much below everyone else, but that's done very well to get to 66. A very good matchup, I would say. And the MVP in particular, not looking happy right now, as his boys have lost the opportunity to win the tag team championships here. Moving on, Cameron Grimes has a very Cameron Grimes entrance from the hillbilly billionaire himself at 54. I'm sure you can imagine it. Kind of faux Secret Serviceman, cheerleaders, pulls up in a limo. He's got kind of what he thinks looks like a very expensive suit. It's kind of just designed like a stripper's suit for ease of action for his match. And it's a 54. And then the match itself, Cameron Grimes versus Keith Lee for the NXT North American Championship. A 61, that's done quite well, as Keith Lee gets the win with a big bang catastrophe to retain his NXT North American title. Keith Lee with a 58, Cameron Grimes with a 49. Keith Lee sadly off his game, but still a 61. Still, I am happy with that. Keith Lee getting the better of Cameron Grimes here to retain his NXT North American title. And then we show Karrion, Kross and Scarlett arriving to the arena, preparing for their match. Kross, very stoic as usual. Scarlett laughing, a lot more happy as she seems, confident going to the main event. And we go to Angel Garza in his locker room, kind of bullying himself up, kind of going out with a punching bag. He is getting ready for what could be the fight of his life. Karrion Kross for a 70, very good. And then next up, more tag team action. The Sky Pirates defending their women's tag team championships versus Dakota and Raquel Gonzalez here. And it's the Sky Pirates who come out on top. Io Shirai taking out Raquel Gonzalez on the outside, leaving just Dakota and Kairi Sane, the one they claimed was the weak link. Dakota goes for their GTK, the go-to kick. Kairi Sane reversing out of it, taking down Kai before hitting an elbow drop to get the win. The Sky Pirates retaining their women's tag team titles for a 63, very good. Io Shirai a 67, 57 for Kairi Sane. Sky Pirates doing very well here. Io Shirai and Dakota both sadly off their game, but oh well. End of the day, the Sky Pirates have retained the women's tag team titles here, and Dakota and Raquel Gonzalez do not look happy. Raquel Gonzalez in particular having not been pinned. And then next up, there is a promo video for Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream, of course former tag team partners, tag team champions at that, now going head to head with a chance to become number one contender to the NXT title on the line for a 64. And the match itself, a 51. Maybe a bit disappointing, but I just think their popularities and such aren't up to scratch, sadly. 53 for Black, 48 for Dream. Comparing those ratings at 51 is probably pretty good. Velveteen Dream sadly off his game a little bit. But in the end, it's Aleister Black coming out on top with the black mass on the Velveteen Dream. And then after the match, Velveteen Dream gets to his feet, and him and Aleister Black can't go face to face again. Aleister Black puts out his hand for Velveteen Dream to shake a sign of respect from his former partner. And Velveteen Dream looks at it, looks at Black, and then just turns around, not happy, leaves. Aleister Black expressionless in the ring here for the 69. Moving on, Mickie James versus Natalya for Mickie James's NXT Women's title, not the official title, but the one she trained is the one true official title. And it is Mickie James getting with the Mickie DT, 43 for the match, 43 from James, 42 from Natalya. Natalya sadly off her game, but that's done alright, I would say. Mickie James retaining her belt, she's going very over the top in her celebration. She wants her title, she's kind of looking down the camera, smiling, I told you what I would do. And then a hooded figure comes in the ring holding Mickie James' tag title. Mickie James doesn't even look at the figure, she just reaches back, takes the title, and raises it up, and then the figure slowly undoes their hoodie, revealing an NXT Women's title around their waist, and pulls back their hood to reveal Tegan Nox. Mickie James kind of smiling, she can hear the fans, she's like, what's going on, why are you cheering for me? And then a realization comes on her face as she slowly turns around and sees Tegan Nox behind her. Tegan Nox kind of waving before attacking Mickie James, taking her down. Tegan Nox back in NXT, the women's champion here again for a 47. And next up, a promo video plays for El Hijo del Fantasma versus Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title in the final of the Cruiserweight tournament that's been going on. And it's showing their journey, it's showing the tournament, it's showing some of Rey Mysterio's career in WWE, some of Fantasma's career outside of WWE. And then you have some of the quotes from the superstars in their promo videos before the semis. Fantasma talking about what this means to him, about how winning this title is the start of him building his legacy in WWE. And then you have Rey Mysterio talking about how much it would mean to him, how winning this Cruiserweight title is the next step in continuing to build his legacy. He says he knows maybe he doesn't have long left here, but with the time he has left, he wants to be Cruiserweight champion again for 78. We show both of the men backstage as well, Rey Mysterio getting buoyed up by Dominic Mysterio, his son of course, and Fantasma on the phone, possibly, talking to his father. Both superstars ready, both wanting to start building and continue building their legacies here. And then the match itself, a 71, that's done very, very well, and it is Rey Mysterio with a 619 on El Hijo del Fantasma to win the Cruiserweight title. Rey Mysterio, Cruiserweight champion again. 79 for Rey Mysterio, 56 for Fantasma. Very good match there. 71 segment rating. Match of the night so far. I am not surprised with these two competitors. After the match, the ref handing Rey Mysterio the title, he's celebrating Fantasma getting to his feet. Fantasma goes over to Rey Mysterio walking over to Fantasma and reaching out his hand as a sign of respect. And unlike Velveteen Dream earlier, Fantasma shaking Rey Mysterio's hand before raising his arm. Rey Mysterio, Cruiserweight champion again for 78 here. Fantasma and Rey Mysterio doing very, very well. And then finally, a promo video plays for Karrion Kross versus Angel Garza. Kind of starting with showing Angel Garza at WrestleMania victorious, a double champion, Cruiserweight and Defiant champion, the highest of highs of his career. And then it gets darker, and then it cuts to Karrion Kross, him winning the NXT title off Sammy Guevara, him dominating in NXT, and then finally Angel Garza coming. Suddenly, no titles around his waist, but an opportunity to become the NXT champion, a shining light in the world of darkness that Karrion Kross has created in NXT for a 64. Angel Garza making his entrance, a big, colourful entrance as you'd accept from Angel Garza. I imagine kind of rose petals lining the ramp. In the same way the Street Profits have solo cuts raining down, you have rose petals raining down for Garza as well for a 70. Angel Garza, a real star. And then an 82 from Kross. It's just Kross's standard entrance, pretty much big, dark, black and white, and then the attack of red and orange as he enters the ring for an 82. Angel Garza versus Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship, a 76. The match of the night so far, best match since WrestleMania in this save, and it is Karrion Kross who retains with the Kross jacket. He makes Angel Garza submit, but he doesn't stop there. He keeps the hold on. Scarlett getting in the ring and laughing, looking very happy, very impressed. The ref trying to separate him, Karrion Kross giving the ref a look, and the ref one just leaving the ring. As in the end, Karrion Kross eventually drops Angel Garza. He's lifeless, he's not moving in the middle of the ring, unconscious. Performance writers, Garza with a 75, Kross with a 61, a 76. these two competitors. What a match they've just had as Karrion Kross retains his NXT Championship. And then Karrion Kross and Scarlett posing over Angel Garza's fallen body when the lights go out and when they come back on. Gaza is no longer there. It is instead Aleister Black sitting cross-legged in the middle of the ring, looking up at Karrion Kross. And then Karrion Kross, taken by surprise a little, but very stoic as usual, and Scarlett looks like she saw this coming as Aleister Black stands up, Kross and Black, both with a kind of a look of respect and a look of being ready for war as the two men go face to face. And it is Kross and Scarlett who leave the ring first, not Aleister Black, who returns to his sitting cross-legged as Kross and Scarlett go up the ramp. Scarlett kind of pulling along Kross, whilst Kross stares straight at Black, neither man breaking eye contact for a 68. And the show itself with a 77. What a show. NXT Takeover in your house, starting the weekend off with a bang, increased our popularity in 21 regions. What a show. I am going to give some speeches here, and I am going to give them to Hijo, Fantasma and Mysterio, because I think they did very well. Am I? Okay, I'm going to give it to Mysterio, Karrion Kross and Angel Garza. I'd like to give it to Hijo del Fantasma as well. He's done very good, but I don't think I can leave these three men out. Garza and Kross putting on the matches of the night. Mysterio with either the best or the second best in-ring performance of the night. That's going to compliment them all on a good performance. I'm going to praise Mysterio for a great performance, actually. And they're all pleased, as they always are. And that is the end of NXT Takeover 35 in your house. And now moving on next to finish this weekend with Backlash. And Backlash gets underway here, much like NXT Takeover, with a rundown of the card from top to bottom. We have the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line, the New Day defending against DIY. The vacant $1 million title up for grabs between Liv Morgan and Naomi. RVD and Timothy Thatcher fight to crown a new hardcore champion. Sheamus take on The Fiend in a real grudge match. The Fiend really targeting Sheamus and Drew McIntyre over the past few weeks, it seems. Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley will fight to crown an inaugural Women's Universal Champion. Chad Gable and Cesaro fight for the United States title. Asuka and Shayna Baszler in a submission match for the Women's World Championship. Edge and AJ Styles fight for the WWE title. And in the main event of the night, Big E versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. And a 73 for that, getting the show off to a good start, I would say. And then, first up, as mentioned, the New Day defending their SmackDown Tag Team titles against DIY. And it is DIY who get the victory. DIY, the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, after Johnny Gargano pinned Kofi Kingston following the meeting in the middle. 66 for the segment, 73 for Kofi, 63 for Wood, 64 Ciampa, 68 Gargano. Very good match, got the crowd hot there. A good start to Backlash, I would say, between two very good tag teams as expected. Following on from that, we go backstage to a very angry MVP. Obviously, his team, the MVPs, Cedric Allen and Ricochet, lost to the Swords of Essex against Takeover in Your House earlier on, and he does not look happy. Kayla Braxton asks how he's feeling. He says, how do you think I'm feeling, huh, Kayla? But you know what? It doesn't matter, because tonight is the start of something greater, something better, something bigger, and you and everyone else can just wait and see. Some words of warning there from MVP for an 82, very good. And then after that, we go to the $1 million title match, Liv Morgan versus Naomi for the vacant belt. And it's Naomi who gets the win. Naomi, the new $1 million champion. After the match, some respect between Liv Morgan and Naomi. They hug. Morgan raises Naomi's hand. Naomi raises Morgan's hand to a big applause. The fans, obviously, very happy for both of these women. Had a good match here. 49, 44 for Morgan, 53 for Naomi. I'm happy with that. And Naomi is the $1 million champion. And then we go to an AJ Styles interview. He seems happy, he seems in good spirits before his WWE title match later tonight with Edge for an 81. Talking about how tonight he beats Edge, he puts that old man in the dirt where he belongs, and his new phenomenal reign as WWE champion gets underway. AJ Styles doing very good here. Before next up, the hardcore title on the line, hardcore title back, new design looking like this. And Timothy Thatcher and RVD will be contesting for the belt. And it is Timothy Thatcher who gets the win. Timothy Thatcher, the new hardcore champion, with the Fujiwara armbar on RVD to get the win here for 57, 53 for RVD, 52 for Thatcher. Good ratings for both of them and a good segment rating, I would say, here between these two superstars in this hardcore match. After the match, Timothy Thatcher, maybe quite unexpectedly, I would say, reaching out his arm towards MVP as a sign of respect. He says, "Go on, you did good, kid." And RVD, he takes his hand, then the two men shake. And then RVD turns to go back, but Thatcher does not let go of the arm, and then pulls RVD back and hits him with a stiff, hard elbow to the face, taking RVD down as Thatcher mounts him with some more elbows straight to the face. The referee trying to drag him off, more referees and road agents having to come down and drag Thatcher off RVD as he shouts, "You don't belong in my ring, don't come anywhere near it ever again." The new hardcore champion Timothy Thatcher sending a message to RVD for a 67. Now for a 72 we have a video promo playing for Sheamus versus The Fiend, going over recent weeks. The Fiend seemingly targeting Sheamus and The Fiend, talking about how they're such bad influences on his Fireflies and how he's going to teach them a lesson and take them out for good here. He had his match with McIntyre a few weeks ago, Sheamus interrupted, and now he has Sheamus one-on-one. Drew McIntyre promising to stay away. Sheamus and The Fiend, and then The Fiend makes his entrance for the 81. A very spectacular entrance, you know, The Fiend walking out of his Wyatt lamp and lantern, lights flickering. Sheamus, I'm not going to say nervous because Sheamus is a very hard man, but Sheamus maybe looking a little out of his depth, but he's not going to admit that. He looks ready for a war, and in the match, The Fiend versus Sheamus. And 81 as well. The Fiend in the end getting the win with their sister Abigail. 85 for The Fiend, 60 for Sheamus. The Fiend has done incredibly well there to get that to an 81 segment. Very good. Very pleased with these two. And yeah, The Fiend getting the win here. And then after the match, The Fiend picks an unconscious Sheamus up and puts him into the sister Abigail hold once again when Drew McIntyre's music hits. He promises to stay away, but he comes down, he charges to the ring as The Fiend lifts up his other hand and waves at Drew McIntyre before hitting a sister Abigail on Sheamus. And as Sheamus hits the mat, the lights go out. And when they come back on, McIntyre is in the ring alone. No Fiend, no Sheamus. And he looks angry and confused. And he's shouting, "Where is he? Come back here." And The Fiend does not come back. Really good stuff from these three superstars. Drew The Fiend with 3 straight 81 segments here for his entrance, match and post-match. Very pleased with The Fiend. And then we go backstage for Roman Reigns interview. Roman Reigns talking about tonight, saying that at WrestleMania, the Usos failed. Jacob failed. Dwayne failed. And Reigns, thanks to Adam Cole being pinned, everyone seems to think that Roman Reigns failed. But Roman Reigns wasn't pinned. He didn't fail. The fact that he was in a triple threat match with a failure like Adam Cole is what cost Roman Reigns. But he says tonight, Adam Cole's not here. It's one-on-one. Big E Roman Reigns. Big Roman Reigns isn't going to fail. He's not going to bring disrespect and discredit his bloodline, his historic bloodline. He says he's going to lead as an example. He's going to show Jacob, he's going to show Jimmy and Jay what they should have done at WrestleMania, what they should have done on Friday. And he's going to become the Universal Champion again for a 75. Another really good segment. We're really on a roll here. But then next up, not the men's Universal, but the women's Universal Championship on the line. We're going to round the inaugural champion Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley meeting in the final of the tournament here, and it is Rhea Ripley with the Riptide to get the win. Rhea Ripley, your inaugural WWE Women's Universal Champion. 52 for the segment, 52 Bianca, 54 Rhea. Happy with that. Ladies, give it. Women here, the women here giving it their all as Rhea Ripley comes out on top in the end, and then after the match, just a show of respect between two great competitors here as they shake hands, raise each other's arms, and Bianca leaves clapping Rhea as the crowd do the same. Rhea Ripley, the Women's Universal Champion for 64. And then we go backstage. Paul Heyman talking about saying later tonight, you're going to see my client, Shayna Baszler, win the WWE Women's title. But, okay, I know that's not what you're here for. You're here about my other client, Thaddeus Bullard, the Intercontinental Champion. Guy says, yeah, I was wondering what you think about him not being on the card here tonight. And Paul Heyman kind of laughs and he says, Mr. Bullard might not be on the card here tonight, but that is WWE's loss. That is their loss ratings-wise. But going forward, Thaddeus Bullard will be on every marquee event. He'll be on every marquee poster. He'll be on the goddamn chairs that people sit in the first 5 rows. Because Thaddeus Bullard is the main event. And it doesn't matter if WWE officials put him on last. It doesn't matter if they put him on first. It doesn't matter where they put him. Because wherever you put him is the main event by default. Wherever you put him is where your ratings are going to spike. Because Thaddeus Bullard is the show. He is the ratings attraction. Thaddeus Bullard is WWE for 61 here. Paul Heyman, very good as usual. And then next up, the United States title on the line. Chad Gable versus Cesaro for 73. Another really good match. Chad Gable pinning Cesaro after a bridging German suplex. Cesaro not happy. Chad Gable, his 5th defense of the United States Championship, 78 for Chad. Cesaro 73. Good match. Maybe could have been better, but I am very happy with that from 2 great competitors here. And then we go to Edge being interviewed by Charlie Cruiser for an 86. He's ready. He's in his attire. He says, these last few weeks, maybe I've been a bit distracted. I've allowed myself to become a bit distracted by MVP and Angelo Dawkins and all of that. But tonight, my focus is on one thing, and that is AJ Styles. He said, I got a lot of respect for AJ. He's an amazing competitor, one of the best in the world. And on any other day against any other superstar, I'm sure he'd come out on top. I'm sure he'd leave here WWE champion. But this isn't any other day, and Edge is not any other superstar. He talks about the amount of things he had to do to get back into WWE, to become cleared to compete again, to come out of retirement, and then 14 months later to win the WWE title at WrestleMania 37 in the grandest stage of them all, 10 years after he had to retire. And he's not ready. 1 month, 30 days after that, he's not ready to lose the WWE Championship yet. He says, I don't think I'll ever be ready. But right now, so soon, I am definitely not. So I'm going to go out there against AJ Styles, one of the best in the world, and I'm going to do what Edge does, and I'm going to leave WWE Champion again, because I don't know what I do now if I don't. If I lose this. Passionate promo from Edge for an 86. Very, very good. And then 3 matches left. We have the Women's World Championship on the line. Asuka, Shayna Baszler in a submission match for Asuka's belt for a 54. A promo plays. And then the match itself, a 66. Very good. Asuka with an 80. My word. 56 from Shayna, 66 for the match. I'm happy with that. And Shayna Baszler tapping out in the end to the Asuka lock. Asuka retaining her Women's World title. Shayna Baszler not happy at all. It doesn't matter. What matters is that Asuka is still your Women's World Champion. And then the final interview of the night. Big E being interviewed by Kayla Braxton. And Big E a bit more serious than usual. He says to Kayla, you know Kayla, long time ago people told me, Big E, if you ever want to be on top, if you ever want to be the guy, you gotta get more serious. You can't do any of this laughing and New Day stuff. You gotta be more serious. And you know what, Kayla, I didn't believe them. I thought, why do I have to be more serious? Why can't I be me? Why can't I do the New Day stuff? Have the laughing and be the guy. And you know what, Kayla? I could be me, because that's what I was at the Royal Rumble when I won that. That's what I was at WrestleMania when I became the Universal Champion. But he says he's realised there's a time for the New Day stuff, there's a time for the laughing, and there's a time to be serious. And tonight is the time to be serious. He says, my mind's on one thing, and that is Roman Reigns. You want me to be serious? I'll be serious. Because tonight, he's going to go out there. No New Day stuff, no laughing, none of that. Because he's focused on one thing, and that is kicking Roman Reigns' ass and leaving Universal Champion still. For an 80 and impassioned promo from Big E. And then next, the penultimate matchup of the evening, a promo playing for Edge, AJ Styles for an 81. And then the match itself for the WWE Championship, Edge versus AJ Styles. 84. A really good matchup here. AJ with an 86, Edge with 77. And in the end, it looks like AJ might just have it. He goes up, ready for a phenomenal forearm, jumps off the rope, flying through the air, and in mid-air, Edge catches him with a spear to get the pinfall. Edge retaining the day title against AJ Styles, as he said he would. AJ, sadly, off his game a little bit, but still pulling out an 86, still getting an 84. That's just AJ Styles having an off day and still, bang, an incredible matchup here. Edge, still WWE Champion. And then on to the final match of the evening, of a promo playing for 79, Big E versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship here. And Big E getting the win with the big ending. The two superstars just smashing the hell out of each other. At one point, Roman Reigns spearing Big E through a barricade, and then picking up Big E, dragging him towards the ring, and it looks like he's going to throw him in, and Big E just kind of standing strong before picking up Roman Reigns and slamming him through the announcer's table. And in the end, it is a big ending from Big E, as Big E retains his Universal title for 78. 81 from E, 84 from Reigns. Or maybe a bit disappointing segment rating wise, but I don't mind. It's been a really good show, and Big E retained in the end. Roman Reigns in the ring, not happy. Big E going up the ramp, still looking pretty serious, gets to the top of the ramp, looking at Reigns, lifts the title in the air, when suddenly Bobby Lashley, out of nowhere, still wearing a suit, grabs Big E from behind in the Hurt Lock, and Big E he's trying to power out, but Bobby Lashley not letting him. In the end, Big E going a bit limp, so Lashley throws him onto the floor, MVP laughing, kneeling down into Big E's face before looking at the Universal title, grabbing it and handing it to Bobby Lashley, and the show going off air with Bobby Lashley posing with Big E's Universal title over his unconscious body. 78 for that. 80 for the show. Really good show. Crazy Wobbly in 21 regions. I am very happy with that. Oh, who to praise? I'm going to single out the Fiend, of course. I'm going to go with... I want to go with AJ, I think. I'm going to go with Rhea. Give her some praise. Big up our new Women's Universal Champion. Let's praise her for a great performance. Make speeches, please. And that is it for our April 2021 pay-per-views. NXT Takeover, In Your House and Backlash, 2 really good shows, I think. Garza and Karrion Kross and El Hijo, Velveteen and Rey Mysterio stealing the show at Takeover In Your House, whilst Backlash belonged, I would say, to The Fiend, Edge, AJ, Big E, Reigns. Lots of really good matchups on both nights. I'm very pleased. And yeah, next up we'll start our build up to our May pay-per-views, which I believe are No Mercy for SmackDown and NXT, and Raw will have their own pay-per-view. I haven't decided on a name yet, but I think it is going to be Vengeance. I will look to confirm that for you next time. But please like and subscribe for more, and thank you for watching.